Hi, so we're just going to jump in again here with the case study, the potential dark side of using non-GAAP metrics. So the company here is Black Swan Pet Food. They sell pet food and other products like that. And their CFO is King Bernard. And so him and other management, of course, are all under pretty intense pressures to meet goals. And during the year, they had losses of $2 million due to a tsunami that wiped out one of their plants in Mexico, and $1 million due to discontinued operations. One of their staff members suggested that they report non-GAAP metrics along with the GAAP metrics to better show their financial position, is what they were thinking. And so they would, of course, the company would look better if they didn't include those losses in income, and so their income would look higher. And so they were all thinking about this, they're all getting excited about this, and then Debbie, who's a CPA, was kind of waiting until the end, and she was going to let them know that there are some guidelines that restrict some of these things, the use of non-GAAP metrics. All these people, of course, they wanted to, because it makes the company look better and the employees look better. They want the shareholders to invest more money in the company, and so that the company can grow and progress there, and maybe for their careers as well, just so that they can look good and move along in their careers. But the SEC does give out some guidelines. There's like a federal securities law that prohibits the improper use of non-GAAP metrics. And so in the short term, the SEC kind of just has to wait and see what people do and how they're doing things. But in the long term, if somebody's doing this, like they're going to get in trouble and they're going to face the consequences for these laws. Which is, a strong point for Debbie is that, hey, there's some serious consequences here. There's some repercussions that we're going to have to face. And no, it is true. Debbie probably agrees that non-GAAP metrics show the position of the company. If I'm betting on a basketball game, I want to know if one of the players is injured or something. If I'm investing in a company and their net income isn't super good, it'd be good to know if that's because of a tsunami in Mexico, like a freak thing that's never going to happen, or if it's because of something that the company's actually doing. And so it may be something important, but some of the guidelines that the SEC has is that you're not allowed to emphasize those non-GAAP metrics over the GAAP metrics with special colors or fonts, or putting them in a position where they look more important than the GAAP metrics, and they have to be close, in close proximity to the GAAP metrics that are corresponding to them. And so those things are just some guidelines that they have to follow. And so it's kind of like how like a framer follows blueprints to build a house, right? If you omit things, whatever, that's fine. Maybe the house still gets built. But when the inspector comes, they're going to say, hey, you got to redo this. This bearing point, this bearing wall isn't where it's supposed to be. It's not going to hold up the weight that it's supposed to if an earthquake happens or something. And so they're going to have to go back and fix it. So in that same sense, if we report these non-GAAP metrics in a way that is maybe misrepresentative, we may have to go back and fix that at a later time at more cost and expense. And so Debbie really needs to emphasize all this to the group. And if the CEO is still not convinced, then this is something that Debbie can communicate to the audit committee, because it is a departure from SEC guidelines, and it's something that could potentially cause issues for the company in the future. And she knows as a CPA what those guidelines are and what those rules are. And so if the management decides not to follow these things, then she should report it to the proper entities. I think that's something that she should communicate to the management first and let them know what she's doing, because that might help them make the decision to do the right thing as well. So that's really it. That's the basics of it. With non-GAAP metrics, make sure you follow the guidelines. Thanks.